think it's important that crypto is really just a technology to update the financial system writ large. And one of the areas in the financial system that could be improved dramatically, I think, is capital formation. There's lots of different people. They're trying to build an apartment complex. They're trying to start their next tech startup. They want to raise money from investors. And today there's instances where people are trying to raise money for their real estate project, whatever, and they're paying 11% in financing fees to various organizations to package that together. And so that's just one more area on a long list that crypto could update the financial system. Now, those are going to be securities, right? So we need to have a clear path for people to register crypto securities. There's disclosures to figure out. There's, how do you make sure that these are accredited investors when they need that? And so we, along with the rest of the crypto industry, are working on ways to do that. For the last 4 years, we've been really, the door's just been shut in our face. Any kind of productive conversation about how to make that happen in a trusted and compliant way, they've just been totally unwilling to engage in that conversation. And so it's really the dawn of a new crypto era with this election that just happened, because it's the most pro-crypto Congress ever. We had 268 pro-crypto candidates elected to the House. All 9 new senators that got elected had either an A or a B rating on standwithcrypto.org. And of course, in the White House with President Trump, there's a full-throated endorsement of crypto. And so we couldn't be in a better position to finally get some clarity and start to rebuild the crypto industry in America. One of the most exciting things about this new Congress, which is the most pro-crypto Congress ever, is that I think we finally have a chance to get some regulatory clarity in the U.S. about some of these big open issues that, frankly, under Gary Gensler, we just haven't gotten any clarity for a long time. So which of these assets are commodities, which of them are securities? That requires the SEC and the CFTC to come together and collaborate on rulemaking, or to have Congress really step in and pass new legislation. So there's an opportunity to do that. The FIT 21 bill, which passed with strong bipartisan support in the House earlier this year, it's now making its way through the Senate, and with any luck, we'll get that passed through the Senate and make it to the president's desk here, either in the lame duck or early in the Trump administration. But what's exciting about this Coin 50 index that we launched is that people are increasingly becoming aware that it's not just about Bitcoin. There are dozens, hundreds of different assets in crypto that are now, they've met our listing standards, they've made it onto our exchange. And actually, there's thousands of these being created every day, believe it or not. And so some of these they're coins like Ton and WorldCoin, which are being used in emerging markets. There's things like in the DeFi space, like Uniswap, that people want exposure to, or the things that are layer 2 solutions are being built on top of, like Optimism. And I think we're eventually going to get to a world where there's millions of these tokens. Every project, every individual, every meme on the internet is going to have one of these. And of course, every company, when they want to raise money, as we get regulatory clarity around securities and have a clear path for that, they should be issuing these coins as well. And so increasingly, people are going to want broad market exposure to crypto. It's going to be the next version of the stock market, but it's also the next version of the internet. And so that's why it's so important for us to have launched this canonical market index, Coin 50, for people who want exposure to the broad market of crypto, not just one asset.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And also, guys, make sure you go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And we have Coinbase's Brian Armstrong. Crypto is to update the current financial system. And that is a fact. And they're going to start putting this in place in 2025. And the stocks that we see right now are going to be tokenized and put on blockchain. And crypto is going to be an easy way to fund projects. Now, we also had Brian Armstrong speak of regulation. Now, we know it's coming again in 2025. Congress is ready to approve. Remember, they only have 4 years for Trump to land us in this 4th industrial revolution. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. Now, I went over this earlier. We have Coinbase launches the 50 index. And we know there's plenty of utility coins, but it's definitely not millions. And we know Brian Armstrong is going to give us some of the truth. A lot of these cryptos, as soon as we get regulation, are going to fall by the wayside. All we have to do is watch the EU and what they do. The EU is going to be the blueprint. If you don't have utility, or if you're not classified under a security, which will be these tokenized stocks, you're going to fall by the wayside because there's not going to be any funding there. We clearly know we're going to have 10 years United States with no growth. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Now, we had Robinhood's Vlad speaking on crypto, saying that overseas stable coins are in the real world financial markets, and then also we're tokenizing the legacy products, and we know they're definitely tokenizing these treasuries because absolutely no one wants this long-term paper. And the short-term paper, nobody's going to want as soon as the Fed starts getting these rates down around 2.5%, 3%. Those trillions and trillions of dollars that are sitting in money market accounts are going to make their way over to the emerging markets, where it's a whole lot more opportunity for growth. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And we had stocks and cryptos pump for no reason, and CNBC admits it. They call it the Trump trade, but guys, we know it's really the Fed trade. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And they have robots watching YouTube. Yes, they do. And I don't know if you've been paying attention to YouTube. There's a lot of accounts that has millions, I'm talking about tens of millions of subscribers in like 6 months. And it's all bot ran. But these robots are watching the facial expressions. Guys, you're going to be walking down the street. You're not going to be able to tell whether it's a human or a robot. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And in the fourth industrial revolution, they want you teaching these machines, and they're selling you on it that you can work beside them. They're going to make you better. No, they want you beside them, so therefore you can make them smarter and smarter, so then therefore they take the place of humanity. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Can you explain to the viewer and everybody who I think is trying to make sense of this, what under President-elect Trump we're going to see in the form of regulation that would result in prices like this and possibly even higher if you believe that's where this is all headed?
Hey, good to see you guys. Yeah, I mean, we have seen basically what people are calling the Trump pump. So there's widespread optimism that the Trump administration, which has stated that they wish to embrace cryptocurrencies and make America the center of cryptocurrency innovation worldwide, is going to have a much more forward-looking policy towards this new industry. And I think what you're seeing is the market reacting to that.
But how does that manifest itself? What does that actually look like in reality?
Well, I think the hope is for, first of all, the approach that the SEC has taken over the past 4 years, which has been regulation by enforcement, not providing clear rules of the road for companies engaging in this new industry, and in fact, just pursuing enforcement cases, essentially trying to stifle innovation, trying to stop these companies from operating in the U.S. That's pushed a lot of the really interesting innovation offshore, which I think has been unfortunate. So I think the idea is that we would see that stopping and hopefully some legislation. And now that Republicans have control over not just the executive branch, but Congress as well, that innovation might actually come through.
And is that innovation, you think, related? I mean, we keep looking at Bitcoin as sort of a proxy for all of this, but I would think the true beneficiaries of this should be just about all of the other cryptocurrencies, if you will, and some of the other crypto efforts, given that they're the ones that may turn out to be true currencies that you might use to buy a coffee, given that I'm not sure you're going to buy a coffee with Bitcoin, but maybe I'm wrong.
I think that the potential is much more broad than that. I think that, traders have viewed cryptocurrencies as an asset to trade and a volatile asset. But if you look overseas, you're starting to see the hints of cryptocurrencies and the traditional financial system merge. So stablecoin adoption abroad has overtaken Visa by some measures as sort of like the largest contributor to the blockchain transaction volumes. So you're starting to see stable coins take off, and those are going to continue to develop and evolve and become more useful. Tokenization, which up until very recently, I don't think seemed feasible in the US. I think now we can start having that conversation because, Robinhood operates scaled businesses in both traditional finance with our equities and securities business and also cryptocurrencies. And we can see directly the benefits of this new technology because the cost savings and the efficiency and the value to customers in the form of user experience improvements like fractionalization and 24-hour trading is just undeniable. I mean, it costs us roughly an order of magnitude less to operate a cryptocurrency business and offer the exchange of assets than it does on the TradFi side. So I think that advantage is undeniable.
Mike, put this pullback in context for us. Pullback, I mean,
yes,
I guess.
It's very modest, especially in relation to the last little pop we've got over the last week, but it does seem like it's come pretty much on time just to calm things down a little bit. This rally went from like zero to nutso in a hurry in terms of parts of the market that were getting overexcited. You guys have talked about some of them, whether it was the vertical move in crypto yesterday. The original meme stock started to move for absolutely no reason except for that sort of pool of trading capital got overexcited. So I do think it makes sense. We are pulling back. Now, of course, a lot of the market's been reacting to a very plausible repricing of growth expectations, and that's probably going to remain underneath this market, this idea that we're well supported. If we thought a recession was a remote possibility before, it's probably even more remote given the policy mix. However, bond yields ticking higher, kind of looking for that point at which it might sort of restrain equities to 444 on the 10-year at this point. Not alarming, but something to pay some attention to. And
this is Emo, our 5th generation face robot. It's really a platform to study this very important communication channel for humans, which is facial expressions.
That is astounding.
We ended up just letting these robots watch themselves in the mirror, learn to make faces, learn what they look like, and then watch YouTube. Robots are sort of like children right now, but they'll evolve, and they'll evolve rapidly.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, well, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting it more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and you know, when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the new World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Drama Team Save the Village. Part 2. King Joshua and Drama Team Save New York. From COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Drama Team goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.